He slammed his phone face down on the table. 3 missed calls yesterday. 5 messages last week. Bro, where you dey? You don't blow, you no go reply again. Don't forget your people. Oh. Funny. Because a few months ago, nobody was calling him like that. His name was Tond. And for the longest time, his life was quiet. Not bad, not dramatic, just ignored. He had a small circle, or at least, that's what he believed. A couple of guys he laughed with, shared memes with, talked about big dreams with. Nothing too deep, but enough to feel like he belonged somewhere. Back then, his phone was always dry. No random check-ins. No, I was just thinking about you. No invitations unless he asked first. If he didn't show up, nobody really noticed. He got used to it. Told himself everyone was busy. Told himself that's just how friendships worked. Still, there was peace in it. No pressure. No expectations. Just him, his small routine, and his quiet goals. Then things started changing. It didn't happen overnight. It was gradual. Ton began taking his work seriously. Late nights turned into early mornings. He stopped wasting time. Started building something small online. At first, nobody cared. 0 likes. No comments. Just him posting into silence. But he kept going. And then, something clicked. One post blew up. Then another. People started noticing. His followers grew. His confidence followed. Opportunities began showing up, small deals, collaborations, money trickling in. Suddenly, his life looked different. And just like that, his phone woke up. Guy. I've been meaning to reach out. Bro, I always knew you'd make it. Don't forget your day one. Day one. Ton would stare at those messages sometimes, confused. Because these same people hadn't said a word in months. Some of them had ignored him when he needed help. Some had laughed at his ideas. But now, they were back. At first, it felt good. He won't lie. The attention. It was sweet. The sudden interest. Addictive. Invitations started pouring in. Hangouts, parties, let's link up energy. People who never had time for him suddenly had all the time in the world. He told himself, maybe they've changed. So he welcomed them back. He started showing up more. Spending more. Saying yes more than he should. Covering bills. Giving advice. Putting people on. He wanted to believe this was real, that maybe this was what success felt like. More friends. More love. But slowly, things started feeling off. It was in the little moments first. Like when he shared good news, and the room went quiet for a second too long. Or when someone joked about his success, but it didn't feel like a joke. Or when conversations somehow always turned into what he could do for them. Bro, help me talk to that brand. Guy, I need small money, I go pay back. Post my business now, you get audience now. Every time. At first, he didn't mind. He told himself that's what friends do, they support each other. So he kept giving. Time, energy, money, connections. Whatever he had, he shared. But something wasn't adding up. Because whenever he needed them, things changed. One evening, everything slowed down for him. The deal fell through. Money got tight. Nothing dramatic, just one of those moments where life reminds you it's not always up. So he reached out. Nothing serious. Just wanted to talk. One didn't pick. One said, I go call you back, and never did. Another left him on read. He sat there, staring at his phone, the same phone that used to buzz non-stop. Silent again. And that's when it hit him. The same people who showed up when he was winning were nowhere to be found when things got quiet. But he wasn't ready to accept it yet. Maybe it was just a bad day. Maybe they were busy. So he tried again. He showed up for one of them instead. Helped with something small, just to reconnect. And immediately, the energy came back. Laughter. Vibes. That's my guy. Like nothing ever changed. That's when the confusion turned into something else. Doubt. Because now he was starting to see a pattern, and he wasn't sure he liked what it meant. The pattern didn't just show up once. It repeated itself until he couldn't ignore it anymore. Ton started paying attention. Not to what they said, but to what they did. Whenever he posted something big, they were the first to comment. Fire emojis. Proud of you. My guy is too much. They would repost his wins like they were part of the journey. Like they had been there from the beginning. But in private. Silence unless they needed something. It became predictable. A message would come in, starting soft. Bro, how far? Long time, hope you're good. Then, slowly, it would shift. I get one small thing I need your help with. I beg, you fit assist me with. Every single time. No real conversation. No genuine interest in how he was doing. Just a bridge to a request. And the more he noticed it, the heavier it felt. One day, he decided not to respond immediately. Not out of spite, just to see what would happen. Hours passed. Then came another message. Guy, you don't forget us. Success don't enter your head ABI. He stared at the screen, almost laughing. Because it was funny how quickly the narrative flipped. The same people who disappeared when he needed them were now accusing him of changing, simply because he wasn't available on demand. That was the moment something shifted inside him. Not anger. Not even sadness. Clarity. He started pulling back, not loudly, not dramatically. Just quietly. He stopped over-explaining. Stopped saying yes to everything. Stopped trying to prove he was still the same person. And just like that, the circle began to shrink. Fewer calls. Fewer invites. Fewer my guy messages. Until eventually, it was almost empty. No fights. No confrontation. Just distance. And in that silence, the truth became impossible to ignore. They were never really there for him. They were there for what he had. The attention. The access. The benefits. Once those things were no longer freely available, they had no reason to stay. It hurt, but not in the way he expected. It wasn't the loss of people that stung the most. It was the realization that some of those connections were never real to begin with. He thought back to the early days, the quiet ones. The days when nobody was calling, nobody was checking in. At the time, it felt lonely. But now, it felt honest. Because at least back then, he knew where he stood. Now he understood something most people don't realize until much later. Not everyone who claps for you is happy for you. Not everyone who shows up is there for you. Some people are just attracted to momentum. And once it slows down, they move on. Ton didn't become cold after that. He just became careful. He started valuing consistency over noise. Started paying attention to the people who stayed the same, whether he was up or down. Even if they were few, even if it was just one person, that was enough. Because real friendship doesn't fluctuate with success. It doesn't disappear when things get quiet. It doesn't only exist when you're winning. And that's the part nobody talks about. Sometimes, growth doesn't just upgrade your life. It exposes people. So if your circle starts getting smaller as you get better, don't panic. You're not losing friends. You're losing illusions. And honestly, that might be the win you didn't even know you needed. If this story hit you in any way, don't just scroll past it. Like the video so more people can see it. Drop a comment, have you ever experienced something like this? And if you haven't already, subscribe, because stories like this, they are real, and you're definitely not the only one going through it.